Okay, so today we will continue the analysis methods. Last class we talked about task analysis. Today we will talk about usability analysis. We said before that there are a lot of analysis methods used to analyze products, any kind of design for problems, design problems, so that designers can improve and solve the problems. Task analysis was one of the methods. This here is another one that is easy to understand and apply and useful. So, when we say usability analysis, usability as a word, what does it mean? It comes from the word use, to use something, okay? So, we know that any design you design, someone will use this design. Someone will come in contact, will interact with the design. That means use it to perform certain tasks. So, usability analysis, it's basically in simple terms, how easy it is to use the product, or it says product here, but it can be any design, really. So, how easy it is to use something. Now, when we say how easy, it's a very general term. You know, if you ask someone, okay, how easy it is to use this item, or this item, or this item, it is very general, and in analysis, we don't have general. We need to break down the situation into more manageable parts and look at it separately. So here, basically how easy it is to use something basically means the effectiveness, the efficiency, satisfaction, while performing certain tasks to achieve certain goals. So, in usability analysis, we are dealing with 5 quality components. These 5 quality components, so instead of asking, is this product easy to use, we will ask, what is the learnability of this product? What is the efficiency? What is memorability? What are the errors? What is the comfortability and satisfaction? We answer each of these separately. This way, we can be more sure that we covered the usability part of the product in a more efficient way. So we cannot just answer in general. We need to go into the specific. These 5 quality components are part of the usability analysis, which you use to analyze something and to get an answer. Is it easy to use, and how easy or how difficult, okay? And what can be solved after that. So what is learnability? Well, how easy it is for users, okay, to accomplish, meaning to complete, to do certain tasks, perform certain tasks. So how easy it is to perform certain tasks the first time they encounter the design. This is the important part here. The first time. So for the first time you see this type of product, how quickly can you learn? So if someone tells you perform now this task with this item, with this product, okay? How easy it is to accomplish the task the first time you encounter it, not after 100 times of using, okay? So this tells us something about the design. It's like some things are so easy to understand that once you see them, you kind of, the design guides you into how to use something. And sometimes the design is so complicated, the design. So the problem is in the design. So the design is so complicated that even after several explanations and reading the booklet of a certain, for example, device, you still cannot understand it. So the job of the designer is to always simplify things as much as possible to make the user, once the user sees something, to be as clear as possible. Now, for example, nowadays, with the way the programs work, like if you open any program, Photoshop, Illustrator, any kind of application, the way they're designed, you know, with the icons, with the everything, it's like sometimes when you look at an icon, even without someone explaining to you this is supposed to be used this way, you know it. It's because of the design of the whole design makes it more simple for you to understand. In the past, like 20 or 30 years ago, there were no such designs. Like you had to put a long command. Every step you want to do in the computer, you had to write a long command made out of letters, numbers. It's like totally abstract. There are no images, no symbols, nothing that will guide you visually or to make it more easy for the user to use such, for example, a program. So these days, a lot of things have improved, and there is a lot of room of improvement in programs, in products, in any kind of design. You always have to focus on the first time when somebody looks at it, how easy it is to understand, and to start doing tasks using this product. Efficiency. Once users have learned the design, so now here you have learned how to use something. Let's say you learned how to use Photoshop, for example, okay? How quickly can you start performing the tasks, okay, using this program? Or if it's a product, then, for example, I learned how to use this machine now. How quickly can I start using it and performing tasks with it? How quickly? Or if it's too slow, if I end up with some problems, I have to go back to the manual, I have to ask questions. This means there is something here that doesn't flow easily in the design. Maybe there is room for design improvement in this case. So the efficiency, very, very important. Then, the memorability. What do we mean with that? When users return to the design, the product, or whatever it is, after a period of not using it, how easy can they re-establish proficiency? So let's say, for example, now you're learning, let's go back to the programs as example. You learned how to use Illustrator. For example, you're learning now, and you start performing certain tasks with this program, and then the summer holiday comes. Let's say 3 months, you don't even touch it, okay, this Illustrator. Then you go back to it, you go back to the university, you start using it. So how quickly can you re-establish proficiency? This also depends on the design. So if the design is designed in a way that will stick into your mind easily, and when you see it, you can easily remember how to use, to perform different tasks, it means it's a good design in a way, okay? But let's say you come back after the summer holiday and you look at Illustrator and you don't understand anything, you forget everything. So there is some issues in the design that we can improve. Of course, if this situation happens with many people, then there is a problem in the design. Not with 1, 2, 3 persons, because there are people who even after 1,000 times explanations and, you know, they still don't understand. So it is about the majority. Majority of what? The target group of people. So who are the users? The majority of them we are looking, okay? The majority should be able to re-establish proficiency after a time of not using it, if the design is good. Errors, meaning mistakes, okay? How many mistakes or errors do users make while using a certain product, a program, anything that's designed basically? Then, how severe are those errors? Like, is it really a big deal? It's like, what could be a big deal? Like if I'm using a program and I'm designing something on Illustrator, and then suddenly, after I finish my design, everything is perfect, I click something by accident, and everything gets deleted. And there is no way to go back to my design. This is a severe, big problem. Usually, this cannot happen. If you notice in the different kinds of programs, you always have, okay, even if I click delete, for example, okay, a message comes up and it tells you, are you sure you want to delete? So in this case, if you click something by mistake, you can say, okay, cancel and go back. And even with these steps, like for example, I can do many steps and then I can go back. This is also to help you. If you made a mistake somewhere, it's not like that's it, it's over, you know? You can go back, sometimes automatically it saves, you know? So there is many things designed that help prevent errors from happening. So even if a mistake happens, the user make a mistake, at least to be able to recover from it. So how severe, how bad is the, the error, and how easily can you recover from it? So all of these points here matter. You know, it's like when we say errors, it's a general term. So to define something, this design, does it have a problem in this area? We need to ask ourselves all these questions. How many mistakes do users make? How severe are they? If they make mistakes, can they recover from them or not? Okay? So all of this matters in our judgment for each of these points, because each of these points we need to look at separately, judge separately, and then decide, is there a problem in the design or no problem? Okay? Or how severe? It's not about yes or no, it's about, okay, maybe it's somewhere in the middle. So we have opportunity to improve. Then, comfortability and satisfaction. How pleasant it is to use the design. This also is part of ergonomics, very important. It's not only about mistakes made, for example, safety problems and all of these things. It's about also comfortability. Are you happy to use this design or are you not? Are you satisfied with it or not? Any product, any item, any program, everything in our world, we are either satisfied or not satisfied. If we are not satisfied, that means there is some problem in the design that could be fixed by a designer. So these 5 quality components are used to judge any kind of design, okay? Any type, basically, of design. For what? How easy it is to use this design. Okay? Now, the severity of a usability problem, now we are talking about in general any kind of problem, is a combination of these factors. So, when you judge, there are 5 quality components. Each component you judge, like you look at it separately, look at the product or program or whatever you design, look at it separately and you judge. For this quality component, how good is it or how bad or where are the problems? Now, for this to happen more accurately, you need to take these 3 things always into consideration. Like the frequency, how frequently a certain problem keeps happening. Okay? The impact, if the problem happens, what is the impact? What will happen if, for example, I made this problem, I made a mistake, for example. What is the impact of the problem? Will it be difficult for the user to overcome or not? And the persistence. So it's frequency, impact, persistence. What's persistence? If the same type of problem keeps coming up, every time you use this product, the same problem keeps persistently coming up. This is also an issue that must be addressed. So these 3 things must be always kept in mind. Frequency, impact, and persistence of a certain problem. And then, for each one of these, you need to keep these 3 things in mind when you decide, when you write about, for example, learnability, efficiency, memorability, errors, and comfort. So, for some of them, some can apply directly or not apply, but you have to have these 3 things in mind for any type of problem. Okay? When you judge, is there a problem? Is it severe? Is it not severe? These 3 things must be kept in mind. Now, so these things here we already discussed in general. Now, if there is some really, if you analyze a certain product, a certain design, and you find that there are disastrous usability problems, like really big and serious problems that happen while the user is using this product. This is a serious problem. And in this case, if usability problems are found in a design, it is best not to continue with it. It's like you need to go back to stage one and redesign it and fix the problem, and then you can take it, continue with the design, with the manufacture and selling of the product. So, important here to understand, usability analysis is used before a design, a product, basically reaches the final stages. You cannot, for example, design something, make it, manufacture it, sell it to the people, and then, we forgot to make the usability analysis. You cannot. You have to make the analysis before the product reaches the market, so that if there are any mistakes in the design, it can be fixed before it reaches the user. Okay? So this is here important to judge. So, because if you sell something and it's not thoroughly tested, analyzed for problems, it can have devastating effects on what? First, the user. If the user become not happy, cannot understand the design, is not satisfied with it, what will happen? Maybe the company that makes this product will close, because nobody will buy again this type of product. So a company can destroy its image totally by selling bad, not well-designed products. So what this all means is that your responsibility as a designer is huge. It's enormous. It's like if an engineer comes and builds this building and he makes a mistake in the calculation, and then this building falls down. What will happen? Disaster. The people who live in it, the people who are inside, it's a disaster because, the engineer did not study well or did not consider the details. The same with you, you're a designer. You have to consider every detail in a design before this design reaches the actual user. Because once it reaches, that's it. It's very difficult to go back. So this is why the analysis methods can help prevent, can help basically the designer to discover problems before it's too late. Now, there is, for every point, we said that there are 5 quality components in usability analysis, which you need to look at separately, okay? Now, considering what the 3 things we mentioned before, which are these. For each of the 5 quality components, you need to always ask yourself the frequency, the impact, and the persistence of a specific problem. Then, you need to put a mark. It's like basically marking exams, okay? But here we have certain procedure to follow. So we have from 0 to 4. You need to decide this quality component. Now, I wrote about it, I analyzed it, I really thought about it. Now, what mark to put it? This is like for a summary that puts all your points together, okay, for each of the components. So we have from 0 to 4. Please, 0 to 4, this is the method. So I don't want to see anybody using 0 to 10. It's not up to you. It's about the method, okay? From 0 to 4, because this is internationally recognized method. So people cannot change it the way they want, okay? So, okay, what does 0 mean? If you put 0 for a quality component, it means no problem exists. So in this particular quality component, there are no problems. Okay, we move to the next one. For example, learnability, memorability, errors, and so on, each one separately. One means cosmetic problem. Cosmetic, it's a very, very small, insignificant type of problem. This means we can, of course, fix it as a designer. Now, if we leave it and not fix it, it wouldn't cause any big deal issue. It's a very, very small, insignificant problem. Now, number 2 is a minor usability problem. It's a small usability problem, but this here becomes more serious, a little bit more serious, and needs to be fixed if there is sufficient time and opportunity to do that. Okay? Now, when we get to number 3, major usability problem, so if you put a mark 3 on something, this means that there is a big problem here. It must be fixed. Number 3 and number 4 means there is serious problems in the design. 4 is, of course, a catastrophic issue. So, number 3, number 4 are crucial to be fixed. No user should be allowed to use a product if they have problems of this type. Okay? So these are major here issues. So, for each quality component, a mark from 0 to 4 will be given after the explanations. Okay, so there will be explanations in writing, and then you look at everything you observed, you explain, and you decide what mark does it deserve. Okay? Here is an example of a student usability analysis. So again, notice how it's done organizedly, in an organized way, in a table. I prefer if you do it in this way. So we have the quality components, the 5 quality components. Then we have the rating from 0 to 4. Each quality component has its mark, okay? And the explanations here. Now, even if you put for a quality component a 0, meaning there is no problem, we still need an explanation. Why is there no problem? You cannot just put, no problem exists. What if I look at it and I find a problem? For example, okay? So, you need to be clear. Why? Why is there a problem? Why is there no problem? Why is there a minor problem? Why is there a major problem? Everything needs to be explained clearly. Okay? Now, you can format it in a different way. It doesn't have to be like this, but some things in our assignments are nice to be put in tables. Now, you will also have photos. Now, how do you combine the photos with this? This here was a part of a bigger project, so the photos were already put. But now you have only, for example, this to do. Let's say a usability analysis for some product. Then we need the photos because I don't know what you're talking about here. Okay? So you need to find a way how to incorporate clear photos of whatever you're talking about, and each of these points. So this is just for an example. Okay, now we explained what is usability analysis of a design. We have also usability testing. This is also done, this is part of the usability analysis, but it's something separate at the same time. So you can do the analysis, only the analysis, along with the 5 quality components and the table and finish. But if you're dealing with a serious project, like a real life project, a design project, it is also advisable to do the testing. So you cannot just expect you to sit at home in front of a paper and a product and look at it and decide and write about it and this to be sufficient. Because maybe for you, let's say you are a very intelligent person, and when you look at this product and you analyze it, everything looks fine. But when you give it to 90% of other users, maybe they will find it challenging and difficult. So one person, not enough to do just an analysis and that's it. We need to do testing with real users. So how is it done in real life, this? How do companies do that? So they bring a lot of people. Now how much, this depends. We cannot give a certain number. Sometimes it can be thousands, sometimes 100 is enough, sometimes 50 enough. It depends really what kind of a project. And they bring these users. These users are from the user group of people. So the age group, correct. Any other details, correct. And they bring these users and they recruit participants. This is what it means. then prepare a test plan, then the test happenings, and then the real analysis happens. So there is a usability analysis, but after observation of the real users. So, how is it done? There is many ways, it's not just one method. One method is to provide drawings. This is not a real mobile. This is a drawing of a mobile. So for example, let's say someone designed an application, a mobile application, and okay, I'm the designer, I'm not really sure if the user will understand it. So every time, like when you take a mobile, you already know when you perform tasks, you have task steps. So what do you do the first thing? Okay, I look at it, I see the icon, I press on it. Then what? What appears on the screen? Then what? What do I click? What do I do? Something else appears, something else. So it's all the steps. And the users are placed on tables, let's say. And for example, someone tell a user, now, for example, you want to send a message. What do you do first? Okay? And they give him a picture on a paper. And the user look at it and say, I will click here. Okay, then the one who's doing the test give a second paper with what they will see on the screen. It is to test if the user can understand. So, is the design clear? Are the colors clear? Is the layout clear? This is to test all of these things. And all the users are observed who make a mistake, what type of a mistake, how they recover from the mistake, any other problems in understanding. Everything is recorded so that later the design can be modified, improved, according to the result of this user test. Now, this type of testing with paper can be done for applications, for any kind of program, but sometimes when you have real products, like a real product, you need to actually build like a model of it, not a real product, but it is like almost a real product. So when you look at it, it looks real, it can function, but it is still a model, a test model. And you let the users use it. For example, this can be made as a model, and someone can give it to me and say, okay, now how do you understand it? To test my learnability, for example, or memorability, or all of these things. And I will look at it and look at the buttons, look at the colors, look at the fonts, whatever is written, symbols, and I will say, okay, now I will click this button if I want to make it work, or this one, or this. And someone will observe me, what decisions I make. So sometimes real life-looking models are made and given to the person who tested, the participant, and sometimes just on paper. So it depends really what is it that you're designing. But testing is always good, with a design where you're not sure. Now, for this assignment, I want you to get away a little bit from products and instead look at applications, programs, any kind of programs. Computer applications, okay? So find a computer application, not a product, okay? And create a usability analysis. Analyze the application for each of the 5 quality components like we explained. And then put a rating from 1 to 4, from 0 to 4 actually, not 1 to 4, from 0 to 4. And explain your reasons behind the ratings. Clear photos as usually must be included, and explanations. The explanations very important. Not the mark you put. Because whatever mark you put, I will look at your explanations and the photos, okay? So they need to be detailed. And that's basically it for this type of analysis, okay? Now, what program, anything works. It could be these mobile applications that we see, we can download them. You can use that. You can use a program that you're learning for design, Photoshop, Illustrator, AutoCAD, whatever, all of this can work, okay? Anything of this type, or others, okay? As long as they are clearly explained. Okay? We close this.